You spoke last week about the impact that Roman Abramovich has had on Chelsea and the Premier League in his time. Do you think about what the impact he might have on the club right now after this happened?
I don't know. I think it's just the future will tell us. But something that you can take away is the impact that he had on the Premier League and the success that he had with Chelsea. That is something that you can't take away. So the news is the news, and I think that is the issues that will concern Chelsea, and there's not really much to say about it.
I know they'll concern Chelsea, and rightly so. But there is one player playing at Crystal Palace who is concerned by that, I can imagine. That's Conor Gallagher. What's his thoughts on what's going on right now? How's he feeling about it all?
To be honest, we didn't talk about it at all. I think what is his focus is to finish the season well, to finish it as well as he started. That is the main concern. We talked this morning about the tactical approach, about the game that we will have on Monday, and we always say that we will sit down at the end of the season with Chelsea, with Conor, and see what will be next. But we know that we have him for a year, and he's going back to Chelsea.
Does the news change maybe those conversations that might happen at the end of the season?
We don't know. Nothing at the moment is been talking about. We know that we have the players for a year. We will work with him for the year, and then he will go back to the clubs that he belongs to.
Okay, I'll move away. You'll be really pleased to know. Let's focus on Manchester City. I think most teams, if they see a fixture against Manchester City, will be feeling very daunted by that prospect. But for your side and the performance you put in earlier on in the season, does it excite the team to go up against a team of the quality of Manchester City?
It is the challenge. We will face, I believe, one of the best teams, if not the best team in Europe. And we know that the game that we had at the Etihad was a good collective game that we had, and we will need to create this kind of performances again. We will have to be solid, working well together, and it's going to be about defending well as a team, but at the same time creating those moments that will allow us to create chances and why not scoring goals. We know we are capable of doing that.
And on that performance before, what impressed you the most specifically about it? Of course, apart from the result, which was fantastic.
No, but it's the work that the way that we work as a team. I think from the front players to the goalkeeper, we were quite really tight and really compact. We didn't give them a lot of space. But this is a team who always managed to score goals and managed to create chances. So, yes, we will have to be in our best. We have to defend well, but we know that we will create those couple of chances that it will be important to take them, especially against a team like that.
And your side's on a good run of form right now. What do you think the difference is in the last couple of weeks that's picked up in your results that you're getting?
I think it's about taking chances when we have a really good period, scoring goals, defending well as a team, managing well the difficult period that we're going through games, and all those kind of moments that we went through in the last couple of months give us more strength about how to handle a game.
Final one from me. I wanted to ask about Michael Olise. Now, there's been a few reports saying that Gareth Southgate has got him on his radar as a potential England call-up. Have you spoken to him about where he sees his international future at all?
No. That is the decision that he has to make as a player. That is a family decision. So he didn't come to me to ask me any kind of advice, I will say it. What is important as well for Michael is that, yes, at the moment he's playing well. His focus and concentration has to be on Crystal Palace and how to work well in training and keep performing like he's been doing it in the last couple of games.
Patrick, thanks a lot. Good luck on the weekend.
Thank you.
Hi, Patrick. Sebastian for PLP. Let's continue with Michael Olise. A year ago, he was playing in the Championship with Reading. He arrives at Crystal Palace. Can you talk us through the different steps that you've implemented to bring him to this sort of level now, and how he can possibly perform against a team like Man City, which a year ago was completely unthinkable when you look at where he was?
No, I think it's just, when he was at Reading and talking to the manager at the time, he really believed that Michael has the quality to play in the Premier League. So it was just about creating this kind of places where he can keep improving himself. And we knew how good he was. And since he's been with us, he arrived and he was injured when he arrived. So he had a couple of difficult first months because of the injuries. He couldn't train, he couldn't play. So he was really frustrated. So he managed to get back on the field, and his work ethic, it's unbelievable. He's a young player who want to spend time on the field and want to improve himself, and more games he played and more confidence that he's getting on his ability to perform at this level. And he managed to earn the trust of his teammates, and he's in a really good place. He's playing well, he's enjoying his football, and he's good for us, for the team.
How would you describe him as a player? Is he more of a player that's good at dribbling? Is he good on the counter-attack? How would you... where do you think he's best?
He is good on the right-hand side, because this is where he's feeling really, really comfortable. He's capable of coming inside. He's capable of using a right foot on the line. He can combine with players around. He's technical and he's intelligent, allowed him to as well play inside. He can do a lot of things, but now I think is to keep being really demanding on himself, and we have to keep demanding on him to keep performing in training and to keep performing in games. But he's still as well a lot of part of the game that he need to learn. I think he need to do better out of possession. I think he can improve that side of the game if he want to be a more complete player. So we will give him the support, but it's now up to him to see how far and how high he wants to go.
One more question from me. After the game at the Etihad, you mentioned that luck plays a big part when you want to beat Manchester City. So how do you prepare your squad if luck is so important? Because you can't plan how luck is going to happen.
But when you play a team like City, you have to be 9, 10 out of 10 because of the quality of the teams. And of course, you have some moment of the game that has to go in your favor. But we have to force those moments. We have to do what it takes to allow ourselves to win football matches. It's about how can we be brave enough that when we have the ball, we can go forward and try to create situations for us. When we are defending, how can we defend well as a team and not loud? We can't afford to make those mistakes because of the quality of the players that they have around. We will get punished straight away. So, yeah, the luck as well is part of those situations.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
A couple of weeks ago, he was in probably a less good place in terms of form, but now you're 10th and an FA Cup quarter-final. Does it show how quickly things can change? Yeah,
that's why we never been too higher when things was going well, and we never been too low when we didn't have the result that we were expected. So it's important for us to be consistent in a kind of emotional wise, and to believe about what we're doing and how we try to do things. And it has been the case. So we know that there's still a couple of wins that we need, but the process of playing and the way we want to play never changed. It has been the same. So we have to keep believing and keep working and try to improve those details that will allow us to win more football matches.
So where you are at the moment, because football can change so quickly, is it important you don't let things slip over the next few weeks because of how positive things are looking at the moment? Yeah, but we always want to improve as a team. Players always want to improve individually. We want to challenge them, and
there's a lot of players who still have to improve some part of the game, so we really have to be focusing on those details. And those details, if we manage to improve them, we will be better as a team. And the pressure always been there from the first game, so that's will never going to go away because of the Premier League and how important it is to be consistent on the performances and the result as well.
And there's international breaks coming up, and spoke about Michael Olise, but Conor Gallagher got his England debut last international break, and you have Mark Gahey, Tyreek Mitchell potentially could get called up. Do you think they've been playing well enough to get into a senior international squad?
They've been playing well enough for Crystal Palace, and I'm being really pleased with those performances. I think all the players that you mentioned are playing with a lot of confidence and believe on themselves, and they're doing really well. So now is a manager who will have to make those kind of decisions. But I think it's really interesting for them when you mention their names. I think when they have the names on the table, I think that means those players are moving forward, and that is really interesting.
And just finally, there's been some talk about Michael Olise and potential release clause in his contract. Do you know if he has a release clause in his contract?
No, it's the things I can tell you is that Michael is a Palace player, and we love him, and he's happy being with us, and he's enjoying his football. So hopefully he will be with us for a long period of time.